Howdy there, everybody. So, ordinarily I get all dressed up in the Western garb. Tonight I'm running on a particularly just like shit, no time schedule. So I figured just the cowboy hat intro would have to do. Welcome back. So basically, here's the quick version. Earlier today, I was spending all afternoon GMing a Burning Wheel stream, or not stream, but Burning Wheel game. Hey, come here, Slava. You can come up. So ordinarily on Saturdays, I run RPGs with friends, but I'm not ordinarily GMing anything. The way we do it is we have our one kind of long form game, and when somebody is missing, we do one of our various other just kind of ongoing side games. And depending on who's available, we do some other ones. And basically, there's the two side games right now. One is a game of Mage, and one is my game of Burning Wheel. And given that the storyteller for Mage was unavailable this weekend, it made it very clear which one of the side games we should do. So Burning Wheel it was. And yeah, it had been a little while. Burning Wheel is always at least a little bit intense, and particularly just since I don't GM that often, it's always just a little bit more of like, okay, I've been doing a lot of talking today and a lot of thinking on my feet, all compounded by the fact that I have had about 4 hours of sleep because I wanted to have enough prep time for the Burning Wheel game today, and so yeah. I'm a little bit more out of it today, and I'm still in the process of changing gears over to Ironsworn, but I'm going to do the best I can. Both games do a pretty good job of making sure that the narrative of the game just kind of flows out of using it. And give me one moment though, I need to turn on the fan next to me because it's feeling a little bit hot right here. And then we'll shift over and get started with picking up where we left off with Coyote Devereaux. 1 second. There we go. That should be kicking into him. So yeah, if you have not checked out the previous couple of streams, they are available on YouTube. But for the quick version of what's been going on, Coyote Devereaux, our protagonist, it's hard to call him the good guy, but our protagonist in this tale, is in a little bit of hot water. He and his dad were a kind of huckster pair. They went from town to town, hawking all sorts of, snake oils and just bad medicines and just random crap on people. And so they're basically doing the plot of The Music Man in a way, as a team. And they always went from town to town, just like they left town before the negative repercussions caught up with them. Unfortunately, this time they were not quick enough on that, and wound up running afoul of a leader of a gang. And the way they ran afoul of him by selling him a product that made all the rest of his gang feel kind of queasy and sick. And basically, the dad is captured. In order to make good on that, Coyote has been kind of forced to hijack the contents of or steal the contents of a caravan that's going to be coming through, deliver them to this guy, Red Robert, who has his dad captive. And, yeah, from there, wound up having some issues with the shopkeeper trying to get a weapon in order to do this, but wound up meeting this doctor. Let me open up my notes for this game. Let's remember his name. Again, I'm shifting campaign settings right now. And, alright, so we had, we had Chops the dentist, that's right. So Chops the dentist, big old mutton chops, and, I want to say he's got kind of like that, he's doing that like very much receding hairline version of balding, where his hair is getting a little bit thinner and a lot whiter, and it's getting a little bit wispy and sticking out. Chops the dentist they wound up meeting each other and forming together. They got drunk together last night, though Coyote got a lot more drunk than Chops did. And in that drunken stupor, they kind of talked about some shit. They laid it all on the table. Coyote mentioned some amount of bad past that happened recently in Copper's Ring, a nearby settlement, where Coyote accidentally kind of poisoned a bunch of school children through one of his bad medicines. And yeah, there are definitely some fatalities there that he's running from. And then Chops opened up about his plans to try and steal Red Robert's lady, and doing that by framing Red Robert for murder by killing a patient who is going to be the marshal of this settlement. And drunk as he was, Coyote agreed that, you know what, you're helping me out on this caravan thing, I'll help you do that. And well, let's move into the in-game view now. As we see, we have our iron vows in this game. We still have the steal from the caravan and deliver back to Red. But this new iron vow that we ended last session with, help Chops frame Red Robert for murder. He is now bound mechanically to try and do this in the game. Wait, did I accidentally have a little marking on here, it looks like? 1 second. Yeah, delete that. No red marks on my background. Yeah, so it turns out that this doctor in town, he's a dentist, who also already pried out a gold tooth that Coyote had as part of the payment for all this. The drink was kind of part of the process of dealing with the pain. But yeah, it turns out they're both kind of some scumbags. And that's kind of where we pick up, is after this night of, like, talking about their airing their dirty laundry and then deciding to help each other out. We're picking up with what's going to happen after that. So, they came up with a plan, by the way. Part of this idea was that they wanted to frame Red Robert. Or not frame Red Robert, but that's a different plan. They wanted to screw him over, basically. Because by the letter of what Coyote Devereaux is bound to do, he needs to steal from the caravan and deliver the contents back to Red Robert. But nothing says that that he can't do anything after that. Like, once he delivers the contents, the vow is kind of over. And so they decided that Coyote, not being especially well equipped to deal with this entire caravan, especially once it was revealed that this caravan is known to be guarded by Angel-Face Briarthorn, somebody that Coyote has run into in the past. They have a bond. They've spent some time on the road together. And she is a particularly notorious gunswoman and is known to be protecting this caravan. So he doesn't think he's got a lot of good shot against that. But they kind of pivoted the plan a little bit into, like, you know, what if we open up about this idea and the whole thing with Red Robert and how he's stealing from this caravan. It's not a good thing. What if we all pitch in together to give him, take something from it and basically do a Trojan horse on him, like fool him into thinking like here's the merchandise, like give him some of it, but then ambush him and like break free Coyote's dad and do all that. So they need to set up this plan a little bit more. And we could cut forward directly to the caravan approaching, but given Coyote Devereaux's luck of pulling off anything we've ever seen him do so far, if you haven't been here, it's not gone very well. We should probably do as much as we can to set this up. Now, thankfully, we kind of have. Because through the mechanics of the game, we have as much momentum as we can possibly get. We are ready to pull things off. So, I kind of do want to move forward on that in a set. Like, I'm as ready as I'm going to be to, like, turn a roll into a victory. So, yeah. I think we should, I, as a player, want to cut towards that, because I want that momentum to help me. I don't want to be tempted to use it on something earlier. So, so yeah, it's the, we fade in on this session, and it's the day that the caravan is supposed to be arriving. And I think we're, it's Chops and Coyote standing together a little bit outside of town on the road that's going to be leading in. Because in case this goes poorly, even though they're both kind of assholes, if they have to do something about this, they don't want it to go, they don't want it to go, oh wait, you know what, hold on. God, if this goes wrong, we don't have any weaponry on us. Gamble on ourselves. It's not going to go wrong. It's fine. We don't need weapons. In fact, weapons could just make it go worse by just seeming more aggressive. We're gonna show up. We're gonna talk our way out of this. It's fine. TPK incoming. Welcome, Dracolich. It's fine. It's fine. Let's hear your theme as you're heralded in. Let me think over my my plans while this plays. It's really soft? Okay. Oh! That's why. Because my desktop audio isn't being captured. It's just, all you're hearing is what's being recaptured by my mic. Thank you. I need to turn that back on. Sorry you didn't really get to hear much of your theme, but oh well, you've heard it before. So yeah, you know, I think I want to lean into a little bit this idea. Exactly, you've heard it. I think I want to lean into I want to have as much of a chance of this being successful as possible, and just we all know that Coyote Devereaux is kind of a scumbag. We should try and do this with his trickster path. His trickster asset's going to help him have success with this. And because we know we're about to be compelling this person, Angel Face, to help them out. And if we can incorporate lying into this, or cheating, we'll get that +1. Oh, this is all metagaming. It's you gotta do in a Powered by the Apocalypse game like this. There's some amount that you have to metagame to know what's working for you. Otherwise, you're just gonna fail all the time. Welcome, Jim. If you want success in this game, you got to use every opportunity you got towards you. I am totally fine with deciding what to do based on what might work for me. And as you saw from last time, sometimes I forget to do that, and I do something that's completely bad, and I have to use my wits, which is not a good stat, as you can see. So yeah, I think I need to come up with some aspect of this needs to be a lie. I think the lie to this is that I plan on talking about how, like, you know, it's only temporary. We're gonna get all of this stuff back to you. We're gonna, you know, we're gonna take from the caravan, but it's just enough seed to like be convincing. And then when it's all done, you get it all back. It's fine. Here, let's not talk about the plan. Let's see it in action. So I know how I'm gonna approach this. The caravan rolls up, and Coyote in his typical, like, he's got his wounded sash, his fake wounded sash that's a little bit less fake from what's happened lately. He's got a little bit of like bloody cotton still sticking from where the tooth was pulled out yesterday, and less bloody now, but still there. It's a little bit sore, and he's like waving down in the middle of the road. And they stage this enough out of yes. This is a Powered by the Apocalypse game. We will be making moves and everything like that. And again, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the stream, as I tend to do, if you want to know more about this game or be able to follow along at home, the PDF is 100% free. Go to ironswornrpg.com and you can see exactly what I'm looking at, all the assets, everything. You can see how this game works. It's pretty cool. Exactly. You have to kind of set up your moves appropriately in Powered by the Apocalypse. So yeah, they go enough out of town that it makes sense that like he would need to flag down a caravan and not just be like, well, why don't you go to town? It's right back behind you. Be like, oh yeah. So yeah, they go, I don't know, a couple miles out of town on the direction of the road where the caravan's gonna be coming, and flags him down. And I think Chops is there as well. He's not participating in the fiction of it. I think he's just like, Chops is probably like there's a rock nearby, like a big old boulder that he's a little bit old. He's sitting down and just like. It's like picking dry, like thistle out of the ground. He's just he's kind of bored and hanging out in the background. Like, he's around, but he's not going to be involved in this directly. So the caravan comes through and we flag it down. And, they pull over. I don't think we need to make a roll out of that. It makes sense. They pull over to see what's going on. Suspicious, though, because it is an Angel Face, like, well, she was originally towards, like, the middle of the caravan a little bit. Just you get eyes on what's going on forward and behind, and like the whoever's driving the very front of it, kind of like signals everybody to halt. You know, stops the team of horses and like holds up a hand for everybody to stop. Signal everything halts. When that happens, Angel Face kind of rides up towards the front on her own horse, and then she sees Coyote, and of course they share a bond. So like at first, she's a little bit on edge, because, you know, you never know what might be stopping a caravan. She's ready for danger. She's already got, like, one hand ready to do a quick draw if necessary. But then she sees it's him. And she softens a little bit. Of course, knowing him, she also knows that he's a little bit slimy. So, she's still, you know, keeping an eye out, but she rides up. She doesn't get off her horse. But kind of from way up high, she looks down and says, Coyote, you look like you need some help. What's Or no, you know what she probably says instead? She's seen this game with him. She knows the wounds and everything is all fake. She's been on the road enough times. She's been like, Coyote, you think I'd fall for that old headband thing? You know it's fake. You and I both know it's fake. It's what you're really after. And Coyote laughs a little bit and goes, "Yeah, I guess I should have known you would have seen right through it. You'd remember. How's it been, by the way? Is the hope the road's been nice and easy on you. It's not too difficult. But hey, you been okay since we last spoke?" Coyote, I'm kind of like much I'd love to meet back up and gab. I'm a little bit busy. Can we do the maybe you walk along, we do this in town, rather not stay on the open road any longer than necessary. Well, here's the thing with that, actually. I got a bit of a proposition for you, and this is the type of thing that I don't want a bunch of ears around for. I'd rather keep this as close to between you and me as possible. You get it? It's there's some people back in town that I want to keep this secret from you. You savvy? And she raises an eyebrow, and she goes, "You, I'll hear you out, but keep it quick. I'm not interested in any of your long cons. I got my own stuff going on." And she's slowly taking her hand like farther and farther away from her holster. Like she's getting a little bit more at ease. She's more just like, oh, that Coyote Devereaux is up to his old tricks again, and less just like there's immediate danger. But I think she does look around a little bit first. And she gestures over to Chops over by the rock and goes, "Who's he?" "Oh, him? He did this to me." And he pulls out the bloody cotton. And she goes, "He doesn't really? That old man, he knocked out a tooth?" Not just anything. He didn't knock it out so much as he... Anyway, I said I wouldn't take up much of your time. We can get into that later. Have you heard of Red Robert? Are you familiar with who that is? Do you know the name? Does it ring a bell? I think she ponders on it for a little bit. He goes, "He's got a bit of a reputation. Sure. I think I may have run afoul of his sort before." "Well, did you know that it was supposed to be him you're talking to today and not me? Yeah, this day could have gone very differently. And not just him, but all of his crew all around him. You ever dealt with him in the past before?" "I've been fortunate enough to say that I have not actually met so much as his reputation precedes him. But it has not been kind words that I've heard. So, he's somebody that I'd rather keep at a distance." Yeah, you and me both. Sadly, it's not the way the cards were dealt." "Well, you don't sound like you really like him all that much. How would you like to hear me out on a way that we can, maybe make sure that he's a little bit less of a player in these parts? If you catch my drift?" Get specific quickly. I told you I don't have a lot of time. All right. Look. He was supposed to rob your caravan, okay? Turns out his crew is a little under the weather. They're not ready to do it. They're long story short, it's supposed to be me. I don't want to do it, okay? I have no interest in robbing a caravan, but they got my dad. He's tied up right now. They're holding him hostage. I really need you to help me out on this one. I've got a bit of a plan. He wants me to rob you and give the goods back. I don't want to do it, but I think we can use that to our advantage. Are you willing to take? Just give me. Can we take a break? Feed the horses, water them, and everything, and let everybody sit tight for like 10 minutes. We go over an idea. I think it can work. And she looks back at everybody, and like we're not that far out of town, so like it's one of those like really like we're almost there. We have to take a break. Everybody had their hearts set on like we can finally get out of these coaches and like have a drink. And but I think overall she's like, you better not take the whole 10 minutes, but just go. What's your plan? Just do it.
Out with it, man. You always... You spend so much time buttering up. Just get to the point. Alright. It's a pretty simple story. I take... I take just enough of the cargo to convince him that I did the job. We take it back. I take a wagon. Take a wagon's worth. I think I can convince him that I was able to get away with that, but as just one person, that was all I could take. Inside the wagon, bam, ambush ready. You're there, guns drawn. Anybody else who's armed around this area and able, we just have all the people in the world ready to go. We take him out. We can arrest him or do it, or whatever you want to do with him. I don't really care, but we can make sure that he is not a factor in this area for however long you want to ensure he's not a factor. I leave that up to you. But I need a wagon, and I need to not be seen with the rest of the caravan and you and guards. And I need this to be a juicy piece of fruit. You got it? We got to do this through subterfuge. Yeah. What do you say to that? You get everything back when it's all done. Okay, it's all just temporary, and this is the lie, because I think we know the cogs are turning that Coyote thinks that maybe if he does it just right, he could then also, he's not going to make off an entire wagon of stuff. That's way too big of an ask. But like, he thinks that he could probably, skim a little bit off the top for himself. He's concealing that, and yeah, this is how we're going to incorporate the bluffing, stealing, or cheating into this compel, because I think he's touching on a little bit of all three. But anyway, he goes, so what do you say? Can you join our crew? And he gestures back towards shops again. Can you help us out? And let's make our roll. So, we've got our high as hell momentum. Basically, we should be able to get at least a partial success out of this, unless we roll double tens, which we've done before. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. We've also got a +1 on this roll because we are bluffing and trying to cheat her on this deal. Little does she know that Coyote totally plans on making off with some of these goods. You're not going to get everything back. So let me pull up the thing. We are using a compel. Now, we're still mostly... It's weird. What do you guys think on this? So, which stat we use will be slightly different. Because if we're charming, pacifying, bartering, or convincing, we're rolling plus heart. And +1 if we share a bond, which I feel like is mostly what we're doing here. But there's a component to it that's a lie. Now, technically, if I'm lying or swindling to get what I want, I'm rolling plus shadow. This is a weird situation because it's a mixture of both. Yeah, right? Hey, welcome, Z. So, yeah, do you guys think that it is okay to consider this as rolling with my heart because that's doing the heavy lifting, but still get my trickster bonus? Or is it, if I want one, I gotta go, like, if I want some of it, I want all of it? Like, can I only get that trickster bonus if I lean all the way into lying or swindling? Or are you guys okay with the, like, it's mostly charm, but you've got that lie in there that your trickster is helping you out with? Because I think that's okay, but I'm willing to accept if you guys think that's a little bit, like, cheatery to get a little bit of that. Yeah, because the lie is just part of it. But again, I'm okay with the idea that, like, well, if it's only part of it, then you're not getting enough to use the trickster. Because I'm at that point, if I'm not lying, bluffing, stealing, or cheating with my compel, then I'm not using my shadow. Yeah, you know what, the more I say it out loud, the more I'm okay with that idea that, like, clearly, if I don't think it qualifies enough to qualify as plus shadow, then it doesn't qualify enough for that. And mechanically, this is better anyway. So, I have that lie in there. It's not doing enough for the trickster to help me, but I'm still going to get that +1 because we share a bond with each other. It's just a +1 from a different source. So, I'm going to get to roll my heart, which is 1 higher than my shadow anyway. and then still get a +1 on this. So, let's do it. Let's see Coyote still just roll double 10s on this and be fucked regardless. I guess with his +1 though, if he... Nope. Because if he rolled a 6, he would match it with a 10. Anyway. I try to be, because I feel like that's generally to the benefit of the game, is to make sure that you don't have it too easy. Bluff like your life depends on it. It's fine. We'll be... I think we got it. Let's see. We just know that there's a underlying... Oh, yeah. Look at that. Didn't even need to burn my momentum. A 5 and a 3, and my action... I rolled that... I rolled a 7 on it. We are all good. So, yeah, we get a strong hit without even having to burn a momentum. We'll still have that for later, which is awesome. Also, yeah, I did put in the +1. We're good. So we have a strong hit, which means a couple of things. On a compel, that means they'll do what you want or share what they know. So she's going to go along with the plan. Take +1 momentum. And if you use this exchange to gather information, make that move now. So I can't make my momentum any higher. So whatever. I'm maxed out. It's fine. I'm just happy to have such high momentum. So we've got her to go along with the plan. Now, that, to me, I know it was much quicker than the last time that we filled in a milestone on this vow, but honestly, that feels like a milestone, considering she is like a known, like, don't fuck with her gunslinger, and we're gonna have her as part of this ambush plan. Convincing her to go along with it... Actually, hold on. Let's formalize the plan, and then once we do that, that feels like a milestone. I don't think we need to do too much around it, though, because, like, I think we have the bones of it. I don't want to detail every moment of it. We'll just kind of explore what happens in play. Let me get another drink of water real quick. So, I think... Hey, Grayson. What's up, kitty cat? Welcome to my lap. So yeah, they more or less have the bones of this. It's just... We're gonna take this caravan. Oh, you know what we need to do still? Here's where the milestone will happen. She's on board with helping, but she's not. She's just in charge of protecting this caravan. She's not the only member of this community. There's a lot of people out here who want to go to town. And, you know, they're almost there. We already talked about how, like, they're almost like, oh, come on, we have to stop here. And this plan is contingent on the idea that, like, this was all I could make off with. The rest of the caravan got away. If the caravan is spotted going into town, that ruins the plan. So we need to convince them to camp out here and be like, just hold off, okay? It's fine. We'll meet you in a bit. Just have a sit down. Stay out of sight, out of town. Hang out for a little while. So we kind of we circle up the wagons a little bit. Oh, we prepare to anyway. We walk back to the lead, and we start talking to the lead wagon. We kind of encourage everybody to come together, and like there's some kind of gesture that that Angel Face does to be like, hey, round up everybody. We're gonna have a talk. And so various like wagon drivers and representatives of like the merchants and stuff like that have their wares. We all gather together in a group, and we just have Angel Face telling Coyote, like, you know, I'm more than happy to help out, but it's them you gotta convince, and particularly especially because one of them has to agree to give up their wagon. You know, she can't say yes to that all by herself. She's just willing to be the muscle in the back. It's them you're gonna have to convince, Coyote. And Coyote says, "Oh, I think I can do that. I think I can." Ladies and gentlemen, you don't know me, but I respect your trade. It's a dangerous road out there. You got to deal with all the grit and the dirt. And then somebody shouts out like, "We're dealing with it all the more the longer you talk out there. Get to the goddamn point." Yeah, of course. So, Angel Face and I were talking, and I want to show hands. Who here is a fan of getting robbed by highwaymen? Show of hands. Well, you know what? I mean, I can't say I'm surprised to see no hands just shooting up from the beginning. None of us are a fan of them. You raise your hand, yeah. And you raise your hand and somebody gives you an elbow and like nudges you and just like, come on, and hand goes back down. And he just like shakes his head. Yeah. I didn't think so. Well, did you know, as I told her, that had things gone a little bit differently, if it were not for me, you wouldn't be talking to this pretty mug right now. You'd be talking to the barrels of a lot of 6-shooters. And knives. And ropes. A lot of mean suckers. You don't want to be doing that. I don't want you to do that. And while I can certainly ensure that that won't happen today by walking away right now, you go into town, in the future, there's an hombre in this area that's chomping at the bit to just take those ripe grapes right off the vine that you're just bringing in. They seem just like such easy pickings. I want him to be able to do that. He's not a nice man. His name is Red Robert. Maybe some of you have heard of him. Yeah, maybe some. I think somebody in the back there. Like, you ma'am, you looked like you would. Anyway, I want to make sure he can't do that anymore. It doesn't seem like a nice thing to do. I know, in a sense, it's kind of a drop in the bucket. What's one less guy that's able to rob you? There's other towns. It's not going to get rid of the entire epidemic. What am I doing arguing against myself? I still think that one fewer gang of highwaymen is better for you lot. You're going to be going back and forth. You're going to be back in this area. Wouldn't it be nice to not have to worry as much? I know even with Angel Face here, you don't want to have to rely on that. It sucks when it happens. Angel Face might get wounded. Here's what I'm saying. In order to get rid of Red Robert, which, once again, I very much say is worth your while, you don't want him around. He's a real son of a bitch. In order to get rid of Red Robert, I need something from all of you. Number one, I need you to hang back. Because this plan involves convincing him that I've robbed you. I know. You're already bristling. I can sense your hackles raising. You don't like this idea of what does he mean, convince Red Robert that I've robbed you? What does that involve? It does involve taking your things. And I understand the tension. Because I'm going to need, it's a bit of an ask. I need an entire wagon load. Yeah, I know. I know you don't like it. But you're going to get it back. Okay? You're going to get it back. The reason I need it is because he's got some stuff on me and I'm supposed to be robbing you, and we need a wagon so that we can have people hiding in the back of the wagon behind some of that stuff, ready to ambush. Somebody is like, why do you need any stuff back there if the wagon is if you've got the wagon, can't you just have the people ready? Nah, see, he might get too good of a glimpse. They need something to hide behind. I need a wagon with the stuff. So, do I have any takers? Who wants to be remembered as the hero who took part and stood up and risked their livelihood to say, I support the caravan. I don't want everybody else's stuff to get robbed. I'm gonna do what I can to be. It sounds like something that would earn you a round of drinks, if nothing else. And you're almost there. Who wants to earn themselves a round of drinks by volunteering their wagon full of things? Jem Pickens is gonna do. There's this guy back in guy by the name of Jum that I remember back in Copper's Ring. Man, he would have jumped at this opportunity. And you know what happened to him? He doesn't even need to do the trade routes anymore. He made enough of a livelihood offering up to help other people out in the situation. They work together. And he's got his own shop now. He's got it made. He doesn't even do the work. People do it for him. It's a great life he's got going. Be like Jem. Be like Jem Pickens. Don't be stingy. You're not thinking the long cut. So anyway, he gives this whole long speech. It's your whole... Well, he's not going to say that part. He's going to lean into, Jen doesn't even work anymore, and doesn't even have to work for himself anymore. He leaves out the part that it's because you're homeless and without a job. He leaves that part out.
For those of you watching the YouTube stream afterwards and cannot see the the comments coming in, you can guess that Jem Pickens might be the name of somebody. Anyway, he gives this whole long speech to convince them. We gotta do another compel here, because we need to convince them that somebody needs to be convinced that it's a good idea to offer up their stuff. Now, Coyote does not have a bond with them, but he's definitely doing the charm, pacify, barter. Oh, you know what he throws in there as well? He's gonna throw, and actually I'll save that for if this goes poorly. I've got an idea in mind. So he's gonna go with charm, bartering, convincing, all that. It's another heart roll, but he doesn't have the bond with this group anymore, so he doesn't get that +1. Let's roll it and see what happens. Another strong hit without having to do anything. There we go. So this is going way better than last time. Man, last time was just complete miss after complete miss. It was a pain in the ass. So there we go. Yeah. Yeah, another 7. So with another strong hit again, we would have a +1 to momentum, but we don't have room for it. So yeah, but they'll do it. So there's somebody who volunteers. And they agree, like, the whole of what we're going for here is, like, I need somebody to volunteer a wagon, and I need you to hang back, otherwise this isn't going to work. So, people agree. I think there's somebody who... Here's the one more thing I kind of want to work into this. Coyote knows he's not going to give back all of these goods. And he wants to inspect the wagons a little bit to kind of set up in the fiction that he, like... he has something worth his taking in the back. He doesn't want just, like, sacks of grain or, like, just mercantile goods like that. He wants to, yeah, it pretty much is a Trojan horse. Oh, yeah. Well, he's being like Jem. That's why he looks like Jem with a mustache and glasses. Exactly. So what does Jem Pickens look like? Give us a description. Because yes, the guy who volunteers chose to be like Jem in various senses. Describe yourself for me, Jem. Well, I can. I'm gonna roll an oracle real quick to see what this guy has in the back of his wagon, to see if Coyote's interested in it or not, or if he would try and like press his luck to get something with some goods that he's more interested in. But the risk on that being somebody might see what he's up to and be like, hey, why does it matter what's back there as long as it's just stuff? So let's roll an oracle on this. I'm going to do a theme table. That might inspire what type of stuff might be in the back. Yeah, let's see. Fame. I'm going to roll one more time. I don't know if fame is really working all that well for, like, things that you would have. And this might just turn into theme isn't the best table. It's not really doing what I needed to. Yeah, I think it's more that. Just theme isn't really quite what I'm looking for. Does anybody have any suggestions, actually, on, like, what types of things, if, particularly Jem Pickens, since you are... Okay, so that's really, like, cool. So, let me show on screen right now. We've got a little bit of a... Let me see if I can pull this up. We've got a drawing of what this person who volunteers looks like. And, let's do a, display capture real quick. Not that one. This one. So, this image that we have here that's now multiplying many, 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 many times. Jem Pickens is just the one of them, but it looks something like that. Cool. And get that off, Cool. So we have a little something like that. Sorry, that was not exactly the most smooth thing. He's 22? Wow, the road years have been tough. We have something like that. And, he missed the start, that's alright. Welcome back, Wooden Nickel. Basically, what you've missed is, they went out, they've met with the caravan, and have actually had some good success. We've had a couple of strong hits. We've convinced Angelface to help out in this plan, and like be part of the ambush in the back of a wagon that we have convinced the wagon train to actually lend to us and like hang back for a little while. It's more or less what you've missed. There's some more words behind it, but that's about it. But we're trying to determine right now if anybody has any suggestions on, like, what types of goods are in the back of this wagon? What's this person trading back and forth? I wish I had a good random generator for this. Let me see if I can find one real quick. Mercantile goods. Let's see if I can find that. Merchant generator. This might work. Unless anybody has any suggestions, I'm just gonna roll on this. Booze they can't make out in the West. Ooh. Nothing but weapons and booze. Alright! There seems to be obviously the, and soap. It's booze and soap. Alright. Cool. I don't want the weapons, because I want to have to work a little bit differently to get the weapon. I want there to be too much back there. But the booze I can definitely go for, and then just like, yeah, it's someplace that's this wagon was going to be resupplying the bar. Those city goods you have a hard time making out in the West. Ooh, would be interesting. Like, it's scissors. Yeah, there's like various random crap in here. There's an assortment. It's obviously not just all one thing. Yeah, there's probably some amount of various food goods as well, because you know the bar probably has some of that as well. Food and booze, and it's stuff like that. Mostly consumable stuff. There's probably some tobacco in there. Various things like that. All right. I think, but I don't think that's readily apparent to Coyote. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna have him make a move to try and determine what's in there with his wonderful, wonderful wits. He's going to gather information by searching an area on to try and determine what's inside this this wagon. And I think the risk we're running here, if we get like a weak hit or something, is I think it's gonna be somebody might realize that like it doesn't matter what's in there, and they might notice him kind of like peeking in and get a little bit suspicious. But before we worry too much about the negative consequences, let's gather that information. So, yeah, we're rolling plus wits, which he is terrible at. He has no modifiers. Let's see if he can get what kind of hit he can get on this. And that is a miss. Okay, so on a miss for gather information, your investigation unearths a dire threat or reveals an unwelcome truth that undermines your quest. Pay the price. So in this case, it's I think it just unearths that threat where it's like, indeed, like he's being a little bit nosy, and the guy in charge of this wagon thinks like, you know, dude, wait a minute. Like he learns what he wants to about what's the contents of them. But the guy just raises a fuss, and it's like, well, hey now, what are you poking around back there for? And I think there's just the opportunity where Coyote's gonna have to talk his way out of it. The soap is made out of human fat. I don't think he could possibly learn that well enough, particularly with his wits. Or you know what? It's supposed to. You know what? That may happen. Somebody knows what's going on, but like, I don't think I'm doing enough of a dire threat or revealing an unwelcome truth. We need to play into that a little bit more in the realm of the soap is made of human fat. So I think he should discover something that is unwelcome. I think that the unwelcome truth that he discovers is that the wagon has all. I mean, I was certainly thinking of a stowaway. Yeah, that there's somebody. The only thing is, if there's a stowaway, I mean, there's no orcs in this game, but I don't know that stowaway would be problematic enough, because it's like, they just be like, hey, can you get out of the wagon? Like, or unless the wagon guy didn't know there was a stowaway. Yeah, okay, there we go. That's the twist that we need just to make it into problematic enough. So, in this poking around and prodding, or maybe the wagon guy knew, and that's why he was watching, but maybe this is something he shouldn't have that Angel Face then notices. I got it. So Coyote's prodding around. And there's like a loose section of like a smuggler's compartment in this wagon that has there's like some kind of stowaway back there that I'm gonna roll an oracle to determine like this needs to be somebody that's like he was endangering them by bringing them along. This is supposed to be kind of a magical world. Let's lean into the magic a little bit. Maybe it's not a stowaway person, but like some good that he was smuggling along that he should not have been, that he was being a little bit protective of, that is gonna endanger everybody. Like it attracts maybe like there's like some spirits or something that like it's that glowing beacon. I'm gonna roll the I think I have a like mystic backlash table. I want to see if this helps us think of something real quick. Okay, so it's not a ritual that we're doing right now, but just this thing that they've brought is dangerous because it maybe it's some kind of drug or something that it's like a killer one. But I'm moving on a little bit from the idea of it being a person, but a ritual causes it's not a ritual, but the thing will cause creatures to exhibit strange and aggressive behavior. So it's like magical Wild West PCP basically, and I think the way it was endangering everybody was just like because it's contraband, and it wasn't declared, and everybody is you're not supposed to have it. It's putting everybody at risk because it's incriminating everybody, and now the only last thing I need to do about this is I need to make sure right now it feels like the caravan guy is paying the price more than Coyote. So it's not peyote. It's not quite what that would do. I need to make sure that this then turns into it paying the. So I think this guy, the way it pays the price is he's going to react poorly to Coyote discovering this, and he is going to like. I think there's a moment where people kind of break up because like. Angel Face is like dealing with spreading the word and helping people off their wagons and like get set up and helping people circle up to get ready to make camp. She's helping out with that while Coyote was dealing with some of the logistics around here, and so there's at least a little bit where she's not fully paying attention, where he like grabs Coyote by the lapels and like brings him behind the wagon for a little bit, and says, "Just What the hell do you think you're doing back there? Now, you said this is all coming back. Do you have any idea what could have happened if Angel Face saw that?" And Coyote says, "Hey, don't worry, man. I wouldn't. It's not like me to cast aspersions or judgments or anything like that. I'm not gonna say anything. It's no. I don't like this at all. I'm coming along too. If you're taking my wagon, I'm coming. I want to make sure. You aren't nosing around back there and taking my. I don't trust it. That's the way it's gonna be." It's like, hey, it's. And I think Coyote's gonna try and convince him. Is like he's gonna really play up the danger of this, which is not a lie. He's like, I really don't think he's gonna sell Red Robert's reputation and be like, I really don't think you've thought this through. Look, man, Red's a bad guy, okay? He's more than willing to if he sees you back there, you're gonna get in the line of fire. Are you a seasoned guy? Are you used to hiding and ambushing? Do you really want to? Do you want that on your? You really want to? This could turn really bad. Violence. Are you really sure you want to be a part of that? And I think even without the role, that part is like a little bit more. He's like, you know what, maybe not, but he still wants something out of this. It's like, then I don't want to just go back and have him revoke the wagon, because then we just retread the same territory. That's boring. But I think he does want something out of Coyote as part of this paying the price. And I have another oracle, which is character goal. There's always a fun one. Let's see. He wants something to make good on this, to trust Coyote a little bit more. Let's see what he wants. Protect the status quo. This is the game telling me, yeah, don't change anything. Keep it just keep things the same. Protect the status quo. I don't like it. I'm rolling another one. That's not very inspirational in this case. I want him to want something a little bit different from that. Now, there's something we can use. Undermine a relationship. I know, right? I'm like, let's get inspiration. What changes in this world? Protect the status quo. Fuck you, game. That's not what I was looking for. But undermine a relationship, that can work. That's some juice. And the most obvious relationship to have to go for, I mean, come on. Coyote's got a bond with her. It's Angel Face, right? The person who's gonna be, like, that he really needs to make sure does not notice that he's got this contraband. He needs to undermine that relationship. Protect the status quo, yeah. Is Coyote ugly? He's got a... We've described him before as having a Steve Buscemi, like... He's charming, but he's not especially good looking. Between the merchant and the... But he wouldn't want that. This is what the merchant wants. The merchant doesn't want his standing with the other merchants to be worse. He would want... Oh, but maybe he's got another... maybe there's another merchant in this caravan that he is less fond of. And maybe he wants to undermine their relationship with Angel Face. I think that's what it is. Because, like, he can see there's a friendship. He doesn't want to, like, fuck over Angel Face, because, like, she's their protector. But there's another caravan. So, all right. I think what happens is he goes, all right, but all right, look. Why don't you sit this one out? Maybe there's something, like, I really need your wagon, man. Is there anything else I can do for you to make good on this? He scratches his head a little bit and goes, we need a new character. I'm gonna do a character. We need this other merchant. I'm gonna get a description. Wounded. Okay. Oh, she's not there. We've left her behind. She's just a shop owner in town. We've already got the answer on that. We don't need any more suggestions in that route. We know it's going to be this other caravan person who's apparently wounded. Okay, I think I got an idea. The relationship is just the relationship between them just as members of the same caravan. And I think as part of this process, when they were agreeing on what's going to happen, like, Chops is not a big fighter. I don't think he would have a big role in the back of the wagon. But I think in order to help out and keep people pacified, like, there's some people that are wounded from the road and need some medical attention. He's probably going to be... His role is to hang back with the caravan and treat to their needs. And I think when we see that that's happening, the wagoner points to this one person over there and says, see that fellow over there with the leg? Looks like it's seen better. Or sorry, I'm doing Coyote's voice. You see that fellow over there with the leg? Looks like it's seen better days. But it's not. Chops is about his mutton chops. The fellow over there with the leg that seems like it's seen better days. Yeah, what about him? Well, you're that doctor sort. He's going around helping everybody out. I think he's only got so much supplies to go around, and I don't think he can help. I don't think he can help that merchant. See what I'm saying? In fact, maybe your doctor is makes it a little bit worse for him. And Coyote's gonna lie on this and be like he doesn't want to get this completely involved. We know that Chops is a complete psychopath who is willing to murder, and he'd totally be willing to do such a thing if he's convincible in this regard. Coyote doesn't want that getting out though. He wants as few people to know that as possible because he's tied in with him. So he's gonna lie and be like, "Look, man, I can help out in a couple of other ways. If you don't like this guy, we can do some other things to him. But you want a doctor's gonna help out. Doctor's bound to help people who need the help. I don't think I can convince him to do that. So he's gonna lie about this and get into his trickster to convince him that instead of having the doctor kind of not treat him and maybe make him worse, he's gonna try and convince him if you really want to screw him over, here's what you do. That we need a name for that drug that he's got, but fill in the blank in a second. Any name proposals that you have, please put them in the chat. That's not all of it, right? I'm sure you've got some more on your person. Yeah, maybe a personal stash, some in your pockets. I'm willing to bet. What you do is take some of that, hide it in their wagon. Maybe you won't see him so much anymore when it turns out that Angel Face finds it. I'm just saying. And so he's gonna try and change the plans in this direction. And importantly, in changing the plan, he's gonna try and convince him to be like, hey, basically compel him to give me some of your fill in the blank name of thing. I can plant it over there without anybody noticing. And then you just have to point eyes in the right direction when the time comes. You've got something on them. You can choose to do it or not as you choose, but I think this is more likely to work. He's like, look, man, I know what's going to work and what's going to not. Doctors aren't going to be convinced to hurt people. That's just, you're reaching too high, and it doesn't make any sense. But you've got all the tools you need to hurt this person, and I think I can maybe plant it if you want. So he's gonna try and bluff his way into this because, as we know, the doctor is more than willing to do that. So we're going to compel with a shadowy lie. We spend so much time compelling people to do things in this game because we don't have enough things on our own. We need people to help us. All right, so we're gonna compel with shadow with our +1 from our trickster. And does anybody have any name suggestions for this drug? Again, it's kind of like Wild West PCP. We have a weak hit here, and I'm not that interested in... I'm not going to burn my momentum to make this a strong hit, because I'd rather save that for something more important to me. And on a weak hit, as above, but they ask you something in return. Okay, so he wants an additional something. I think what it's got to be is okay, the additional thing that he wants is just that he wants Coyote to be the one that first of all he needs Coyote to be the one who plants it. That's obvious. That was part of it to begin with. But also he wants Coyote to be the one that draws attention to it and says hey guys, what's that over there? The merchant doesn't want that to be on him. And, because he wants to seem like he's completely separate from the matter. And, so yeah, he requires that of Coyote. And, Coyote says, yeah, sure, of course, whatever. I got no problem with that. Just, I need some of the stuff. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. And by the way, you mean to do that right away? It seems like that's just going to turn to this whole confrontation. We're in the middle of something right now. You guys want to get into town. You don't want to stall things just by raising a ruckus now. Think you can wait till after the job? And I think this person recognized, like, I don't think I need to do a roll on that. Like, that's reasonable enough. It's like, yeah, but you know, you owe me. And Coyote can choose to make good or ill on that later as we see fit. But at least by word is his bond, being a slimy scumbag, he says he's going to do this thing for the guy. And, he probably wants some kind of collateral until he does it. Let's just say that, he's like, you know, you being a scumbag, like, you don't seem like the most trustworthy sort. Everything you're talking about is about tricking people. So, when you do it, like, he takes, like, something from Coyote's supply. It's something, you know, just more, it's like some... He's got, like, some booze or something. I don't know. It's we've got this one more supply on loan until it's just in holding. So somebody help me remember that, like, that there's like it's not really that low. It's like there's an asterisk on it being number 1. He'll get it back when he does the job. So yeah, I think we're ready to call this another milestone. Because we've got the formulation of a plan, we've got the wagon, we've got the muscle, we've got somebody to keep the rest of this caravan, like, watch after him a little bit while we're out. Actually, there's one more thing to consider. This caravan doesn't want to be robbed. The road is the place you get robbed. We're asking the majority of the caravan to sit behind without their protector on the road. I have a feeling somebody might raise some eyebrows to that and be like, hey, I don't think your plan is complete. What are we to do? If you're telling us not to go into town, this is fucking dangerous and hot and miserable out here. What are we supposed to do until then? And I think it's like in the middle of where, like, we're about to start leaving when somebody raises that question. And we stop and like, who here is good with a gun? Well, I guess guns aren't that common, so who here is good with a, hey, have you muscly around here? I mean, I'm certainly not, but I'm sure somebody is. In fact, this is how he makes muscles. Anybody want to step up to the plate? Coyote's gonna try and, he's gonna secure an advantage. Is another move in this game. He's gonna try and find somebody that everybody around and find somebody that looks like they can take care of themselves to be like, you're gonna be the new protector. He's gonna do a couple of things here. His plan moving forward is find a person that seems able to take care of himself, convince Angel Face, like, hey, you know what? I think that I think this person could take care of him. Do you have some kind of weapon or something they can borrow? Obviously, you have your guns, but do they have something more like melee oriented? They could keep a knife or something. And so we're going to do one of my favorite things with his terrible wits: try and look around to secure an advantage. Actually, no. Here's what we'll do it. Here's the more stat-appropriate way to do it. The advantage he's going to try and secure is he's going to be like... And he talks to Angel Face and says, hey, I mean, I know, you and I both know we can do this in and out real quick. It's not going to be all that long. They'll be fine. But I think we can convince them they're a little bit more in good hands if maybe you can give away you can hand over one of your weapons for now. Leave them behind, let them feel like if something happened, they'd be ready to take care of it. Think you have something like that? So he's going to try and secure an advantage by using charm, loyalty, or... yeah. This is his... it's the worst. He's making preparations by charming into like, hey, why don't you hand over just one of your weapons that you don't need. We're rolling hard. This'll set us up to do the real compel roll later and like be like, hey, you're gonna be the one. I see it in you, man. You got that spark. You're gonna be the one who can do this. Yeah,
And we get another weak hit. And it almost doubles, but thankfully not. We get a weak hit on our secure an advantage, which means your advantage is short-lived. Take +1 momentum. All right, well, again, we keep getting all this +1 momentum when we don't need it. We're already maxed out, so I need to make sure to use it soon. The advantage is short-lived. Huh, if that's about giving over a weapon, how do we make that short-lived? Okay. I think, no, that's, okay, so, so he, like, Angel Face comes out with a knife, and it's just like, here, why don't you, Coyote, you can try this, but, I don't know, this is a bit of a reach. The whole point is why they hire people like me is that they don't want to do their own protecting, but do the best you can. Maybe the advantage is short-lived, just because we know that the clock is a-ticking, and soon Red Robert's gonna be like, hey, caravan would be here by now, like, what's taking so long? And maybe he starts going out to investigate on his own. Anyway, Caddy holds up this knife. He's looking around and pointing with the blade towards everybody and goes, you. He finds the biggest person he can. You, sir, I see within you a lion's courage and a body that nobody would dare mess with. If somebody sees you holding on to this, no. There's no way they'd cause you any trouble. No way. You step up, just like my man Jem, or just like my man back there who held up the wagon. I guarantee you, you're earning yourself some drinks tonight. You're putting yourself on the line like this. Yeah. And look, drinks are only the beginning of it. I don't know if you've got your eye on any of the other people in this caravan, but I imagine the road gets a little lonely sometimes. Making yourself look like quite the eligible bachelor. If you catch my drift. What do you say? So we have what'll hopefully be our last compel of this scene. I keep just doing compel after compel, which makes sense in the fiction, but I want to mix it up a little bit more. So again, he's charming, doing all that. We've set it up. Let's do it. One more compel with heart. And one more weak hit, because I rolled the minimum on that die. As above, but okay, so they ask him for something in return. So yet one more time. Nothing comes for free. Gotta give something in return. But again, I just want to save that 10 momentum for when we encounter Red Robert. That's when I'm going to need it most. What does this person want? One more character goal thing. Oh, you know what? I've got an idea. What does this person want? He perks up at the idea of, like, these people are going to want, consider you as an eligible bachelor. I think he perks up a little bit at that, and, like, he's got his eyes on somebody else in the caravan. No, he's got his eyes on Angel Face. He's got his eyes on Angel Face. And he's like, he needs Coyote to put in a good word for him. That, like, he wants to impress her with the good job that he did. So he all the more is willing to be like, oh my god, I get to use her knife. He's trying to put on a brave face, but like, he needs Coyote to, talk me up to Angel Face. And then I'll do it. He's like, to himself, just like, Jesus Christ, everybody needs something. Sure, yeah, sure. Coyote saunters over to Angel Face, who's with one of the other people doing some preparations and stuff, getting the wagon ready, and goes, hey, Angel Face, could you go wave at that guy and like, could you wave at that guy back there and give your most charming look, and then then we can go. And she's like, what? He's like, just trust me, just do it. And yeah, so she does. She's like, hey, hi. And then Coyote turns and is like, you're in. And like, and so yeah, they're ready to go. And we can finally get that next milestone. I don't think there's anything else keeping us in this scene. We have all the components we need. We've got this guy sticking behind. We've got our wagon. We've got the doctor there in case anything goes wrong. Which Coyote even says, I think he's just like, and of course, if you do get into any trouble, Chops is there for you, aren't you, Chops?
I will do what I can.
Perfect. Sounds like everything's all in order. I will see you in a short. I'll see you all very shortly. Thank you again for all of your help. So we can fill in our next milestone's worth of boxes here. Oop. Not brown. Red. So in this game, because of the level of what this thing we're going for, it's dangerous. Every time we hit a milestone, we fill in 2 full boxes. We want to get this as filled as possible before we test to see, did we do this vow? And, so I think we see Coyote is, he's on the front. He's driving the wagon. Back into town. They're having a little bit of a conversation with Angel. He's like just talking over his shoulder to her in the back. And, so like everything okay back there? Make it quick. Do you, what do you think about that guy, the guy with your knife? What's his name? Oh, Cottonmouth Joe? Yeah, him. Whatever. I don't know. He's big enough. I don't know if he can really. I don't know if he has the knife skills to really do anything, but I think you might be right. If somebody sees him with it, maybe they'll just back off. Seems like the best shot they got. Yeah, it could be. We'll try and make it quick anyway. So here's the thing. We're getting a little bit closer. I need you to make sure you're as tucked back there as possible. Okay? Really, really high, because he's gonna be looking. And I want you to be... Here's the way I see this playing out. He's gonna look inside. I'm gonna show him, like, look, it's all there. And then I'm gonna get his attention and be like, now let go of my dad. He's gonna turn his back at that moment, alright? You know what, I should have a code word, because maybe he doesn't turn his back right away, and I want you to be hidden enough that you won't be able to see for yourself. So, what's your, let's see, what word could I work into conversation? And chat, feel free to have your suggestions. What do you think what is chat suggestions of words that I could try and, what is the code word that he tries to work into regular conversation to say, hey, the moment is now, now, Angel Face, without directly saying that? What does he have to try and work in? Murder might be a little bit of a giveaway kind of word. He could probably work that in. I think Coyote is savvy enough to find. I've got some ideas of how he could work in the word murder. All right, let's go. All right, here it is. When the moment is right, his back is turned, and I think you've got your moment to shine. You come up, you come out, and you do what you're gonna do. I'll help out in the ways I can, but I mean, look, it's obviously you've seen me. There's only so much I can do. I don't have a weapon. I'll help out the way I can. If you want to shoot him, try to do it when I'm not right there. Just be aim true. Don't I always? Yeah, but just, it's my ass on the line this time, so I kind of care all the more about whether or not you hit your mark. But I mean, if you don't want to kill him... Actually, yeah. No, because Coyote swore that vow that he's going to help frame Red Robert for murder, and that doesn't work if Red Robert is dead. So he's gonna take this moment here. We're gonna work on that vow. We're gonna try and hit a milestone by like, I think that maybe she's down to just take him out. Like, she feels as a gunslinger, she's within her right to take the law into her own hands in this matter and be like, look, he needs to go down. Nobody's like, it's fine. I'm gonna dispose justice. If he's done all the things that I hear he does, I'm just gonna take him out. And Coyote is actually going to defend Red Robert for a second and be on the side of a more civilized form of justice, because he needs Red Robert to make good on his vow to Chops. So Coyote is going to be all like, when she starts talking about shooting him, he's going to say, look, I don't know if we need to go all that. He's going to lean into the, I'm going to be standing nearby. I don't think that's a great idea. Just like, if you go for that headshot, the one and done, my head's going to be nearby. We're going to be in a conversation. Don't you think you can do something a little bit more like, I don't know, he's going to have a gun on him. I'd sure love him to not be able to use it. Maybe you try and go for the disarm, shoot off his belt, something like that. I don't know. I don't know. He's robbed some caravans, but as far as I know, he's never killed anybody. We'll find out. I mean, if he's killed my dad, free reign, but please don't kill him. I don't know. I don't have a lot of changes of clothes. There's a lot of reasons. I don't have a change of clothes. I don't want him to get blood all over it. It's just, can you do me a favor? Just don't kill him. Because I think he keeps saying all these things, and she keeps seeing through that it's like, you're not being straight with me. And I think he's going to lean in on the, like, we've spent some time together, we've broken bread, we're kind of friends. She sees through his lies, and he eventually lands on, look, I'm not telling you the whole story. I don't think you even need the whole story, but like, can you just accept that there's reasons that I would rather him be disposed of but still alive? And could you not take him out for me? So one more compel with heart. He gets to have his bond in here. And he's going to try and convince her to indeed, like, don't go for the kill. And as a player, I so want this to fail. Because I want Coyote to have to try and stop her from killing. I want this to be like a three-way thing where, like, he needs her help, but he doesn't. She's going to go for the kill and needs to try and stop her. Like, I want Coyote to be in that hot water. So, Gods of Gaming. I know that I am going to be rolling with as high of stats as I can with a +1. This is about as good of an opportunity to get a strong hit as I can possibly get. I am telling you, Gods of Gaming, I will not use momentum. I want this to fail. Come on, you denied me so many things last session. If ever there were a time that I want to roll those double zeros and fuck over Coyote Devereaux, it's now. I want this to happen. Cue the game fucking me over by not fucking me over. Which is almost certain to happen. Like, stats are on that side, but let's see. Okay, well, at least it's only a weak hit. As mentioned, I'm not going to use that momentum because let's see. How bad can I make a weak hit on myself? As above, but they ask something in return, envision what they want, right? It's that whole classic thing. Okay, I know how to do this. We're gonna see. She's gonna want something in return. We're gonna find out what it is, and Coyote's gonna say no. And then she's gonna be like, "Well, then I can't make any promises." Coyote's not gonna agree to her terms, and so it's like we failed. It's okay. I'm very adept at turning a success into a failure. It's my talent as a gamer. I know how to bring a fail out of anything. He just won't agree to her terms. We're fine. But let's find out what those terms are. What does she want that he just won't agree to? Because again, I want this to be a failure. She wants. She wants to seek a truth. No, it's easy. She wants to know more about like I can't make any promises unless you tell me more about why you want him alive. And Coyote rightly does not want to talk about how he has these plans to help the doctor frame Red Robert for murder by killing somebody. You know, for some reason, he does not want to tell that to this, like, more, like, code of honor gunslinger. He's like, I'm gonna be honest, I think it would hurt the relationship if I told you. Why don't we just leave that unspoken? And you just hear from the back, like, then you get no promises. And then, yeah, we're gonna go into this situation with Red Robert. God, I'd love it. Mechanically, I kind of need to jockey one. I feel like I'm going to get a milestone when I like make the delivery, and I'm going to get like. But that's going to be only 6 boxes filled, which is not a lot. I'd love to jockey for one more milestone filled before that point, because even if we apprehend Red Robert, that's not part of this vow. That's a completely different vow. Oh, but I think what we have done is hit a milestone on the help Chops frame Red Robert for murder, because even though it didn't go the way we wanted to, we've kind of ended the scene on like, hey, please keep him alive, and she's like, we'll see what happens. I think that's at least the next milestone in that story. And because that's only troublesome, that actually fills in 3 boxes. So we do that. We've progressed that storyline a little bit, because yeah, he needs to be alive to frame him. But yeah, can I get one more milestone out of the stealing from a caravan and delivering back to Red before we wind up having to test that vow? What if I want to do a little bit of a steal from Blades in the Dark a little bit, and do a little bit of a flashback. I want to see a quick moment where Coyote indeed pocketed a little bit of that PCP-like thing. Because I think that's going to be the thing that keeps Red Robert distracted enough. He's not going to give him some, but be like, you know, look, I found something that I think you'll be especially interested in. I think he can secure his attention with that. God, I don't know, it doesn't feel like a milestone. Yeah, you know what? I think we can still do that. It's not going to be a milestone, but Coyote can do it. We're gonna go back to that moment where he found it, and we're gonna pretend that Coyote took that opportunity to face danger by trying to stealthily pocket a little bit of that before putting the floorboard back in place. And let's see how that happens. So we have a move with shadow on this. No modifiers. Hey, we get our strong hit. Okay, cool. That's good, because this way we don't have to worry about like repercussions that would have happened in that scene that now we have to go back and replay. So yeah, he faces danger with some stealth or trickery. So like, I think what happens is like he like makes it look like he's putting the stuff back, but then like palms just a little bit of what he was holding on to, and like stands in such a way that like he's got one hand a little bit behind his back while talking to the guy, and then slips it into a pocket. So he's got it on his person. And yeah, we're successful in take +1 momentum, but again, we're maxed out. So we have that just because. It just seems more interesting to have it on his person. And then yeah, they roll into the hideout, which is probably outside of town a little bit, like on the edge. And Coyote rolls it around back. Oh, you know what? No, I know how to get one more milestone out of this. Coyote is not especially proficient in driving horses. He has no experience with that, and we're a couple of miles out of town.
So, the one more thing... Ah, that's not how it works. Never mind. I was going to make him undertake a journey to have to train them. But we're going to make him face danger. To try and just, like, successfully use these horses to, like, get back to town without anything going wrong. We can wind up getting one more milestone out of this. So yeah, it's a little bit risky. He's got to use his, let's see. It sounds like expertise, insight, or observation. Using his wits, which is his most terrible thing. Yeah, I don't think anything else really works on this. So yeah, we're going to make him roll a wits to see, can he negotiate his way back to town safely with all these horses? And as predicted, a miss means no. No, he cannot. So I think he's going to get back to town, but your progress is you fail, or your progress is undermined by a dramatic or costly turn of events. So I think he's going to get there. I think he gets almost all the way back to town, but in the process, I think he does something that spooks one of the horses pulling this wagon, and like gets off their bridle or something. Like somehow they get disconnected. He fucks it up. They're not tied up well enough. This horse bolts, and like this one horse remaining can pull the wagon. It's gonna be slower going, but importantly, they try and find it that they lose a horse. So when he ultimately brings this wagon back, he's gonna have some explaining to do, and it's gonna be problematic. He was about the quickest milestone possible, but technically, just because it's not something he could do very well, I want to appeal to y'all's like sense of decency and be like, it counts. You've fallen, and Fallen Ian, welcome back to the stream, or welcome to the stream. You are coming towards the latter half of a little heist that's been going on for a little while here. We just had one of our horses run off on us. It doesn't really directly affect my character, but it will in the future. Well, you are back. Welcome back. I'm gonna fill in one more milestone for it, just because getting back to town had to cost them something. Ah. Yes, that'll be tomorrow's stream. That's right. I thought your name seemed familiar. I wasn't 100% certain, but I was like, I'm pretty sure I've seen you before. So we have a little bit of a tricky time making it back to town. Oh, you know what? Hold on. If I want to get this milestone out of it, real quick, let's make me work for it. Let's not just do it in one roll. I think that when it happens, like there's a ruckus and the Angel Face sees what's going on. I don't think she's going to stand for how quickly Coyote's willing to give up on this horse running off. I think she's going to say, because Coyote's closer to the horse, she'll just give a quick command to be like, what do you do? Like, chase after you. There's not much time. And this turns into a Coyote has got to ride this horse to like as quickly as possible to try and chase this one down, get it back. He might get hurt in the process. We'll see what happens. So it's another face danger move that we're really looking at here. This seems like with speed, agility, or precision. However, he does have a horse aspect right now, sort of. You moved to a new house. Nice. I too have moved to a new house in those last 8 months. Welcome to this new house. But yeah, so he's going to roll his edge to try and just command this horse as quickly as possible. Like, chase after, see if they can get this back, get back on the road, and make this happen. And that is that miss. And even if he wanted to, that momentum cannot cancel out the 10. So this is it's a full-on miss. I failed my progress to undermine with a dramatic or costly turn of events, pay the price. I think that Coyote tries to do this, but in the process, he's totally going to, he's trying to run this horse faster than he's comfortable to be. He's not a good enough rider to really pull it off. I think he's going to fall from the horse
Oh, yeah. He's gonna fall from the horse, who is now also capable of running off. And they can be without either horse. Yeah, let's be cruel. This is a game called Ironsworn. It is an RPG designed such that you can certainly play with a party or one-on-one, or if you want to, as we're doing, you can play entirely without a GM because there's enough random generators in the game kind of pushing the story along that it'll inspire you to do stuff. So it is a kind of Wild West iteration of that game that we're playing with a character called Coyote Devereaux. If you want to check out the backlog of kind of what's happened up until this point, the VODs are on YouTube, and there's a link to my YouTube down below. So yeah, I think the price that's paid is Coyote gets unseated from his horse, and rather than take the health hit, I'm going to take the hit of, they're now without any horses. Yeah, our progress is undermined by a dramatic and costly turn of events. That sounds far more costly than just sliding his health track down one more. They now are out 2 horses. And they're still a ways out of town. Let's say they made about, they're about a mile out. And, yeah, he's lost both the horses. And I think it's time to indeed undertake a journey. Because, Coyote he rode out a little bit away from the road to do that in the first place. And this is just a troublesome journey. It's like, there's not a lot of waypoints along the way. Journeys are kind of like, they're kind of like our quests and things like that, where everything's about you fill in enough boxes and then eventually you kind of test to see if you pulled it off. And we'll make this into a milestone yet. So I think we need to undertake a journey. It's troublesome. And, oh geez, for each segment of my journey, I need to roll wits. God damn it. I think Coyote can at least get back to the, No, okay, yeah, he needs to get back to the wagon first. I think he wasn't paying that much attention. He needs to find his way back. He got a little turned around. He took a little bit of a hard hit when he fell off the horse. So, yeah, first things first, we're going to undertake a journey, which is, we're going to call this Get Back to Town. I'm going to put it down here to make a little bit of room for it. We're going to make it green, actually. Green just seems more like you're traveling over the lands. Get back to town, and this is the town of Gibbet. Lower that down a little bit. Alright, so we've got that. Oops, not polygon line, free hands. This is a troublesome journey because he's not that far out. It's not going to take that long. But yeah, this RPG is 100% free if you want to look into it more on your own time. Ironswornrpg.com. First step along this journey, he's got to find his way back to the wagon. Let's do it. He's got to roll his wits, which he's terrible at. He is not setting off from a community from which he shares a bond, so he does not get a +1 on that. But yeah, well, let's do it. Roll wits. Do well, Coyote. Mechanically, you're probably not going to, but let's see. Oh, indeed not. Full-on complication. If you recall, in this game, getting doubles, as we did with those 2 8s there, is basically a critical fail. And the higher up the dice on there, the more problematic that critical fail should be. So, first off, let's see what happens on a miss when we undertake a journey. You're waylaid by a perilous event. Pay the price. I think there is some, like, so he's got his, like, PCP analog in his pocket. And, you know, we first talked about the idea of it attracting other things, even though we wound up saying, this contraband, we wound up leaning in a little bit of a different direction about its effects, and it being like it makes things aggressive. Let's say there's a little bit of magical juju to this. There's kind of like an aura around it. This thing that we still need to give a name to. I need to make a note of that. So, We need a name for this magical PCP-like contraband, which is going to have enough of an aura around it that its effects don't only apply to you don't have to ingest it to be more aggressive. I think it is making this environment, this kind of like these iron lands, the harsh lands, more aggressive to Coyote than they would otherwise be. And so I want to say that we, before Coyote can get anywhere, he's trying to get his bearings on where to go, and there's a growl that he hears behind him. And as we know, Coyote is without any weapons. He's separated from his backup, and he's not really much of a fighter. This sounds like a really bad position for him to be in, which seems fitting for this this high complication. Something has been made more aggressive. He turns around, and he sees this, just like, it's coming down as a torrent. This, like, the froth coming off of the jaws of this, like, larger than anything he's ever seen. Like, there is a big-ass wolf out here. We might even go as far as thinking it like a dire wolf. It's probably between a regular wolf and that, but, like, this thing is enormous. Whatever it is, for some reason it's out on its own. Like, we don't see any others yet, but there's a problem. It's clearly being aggressive, and let's deal with that situation. So, Coyote, I'm gonna get you killed, buddy. So, I think Coyote recognizes that, oh, here's what I want to do, actually. There's a few different ways we can represent combat in this game. We can do the full-on, like, breaking it down move by move. That's an option. We can also we can do battle as a single move. Like, basically, here's my question to you guys who are watching. We're starting to run short on time this session. Would you rather spend this time on, like, really seeing how this combat plays out, or wrap that up quickly so that we can hopefully get back to town and then see what's going on with Red Robert? What would you rather try and wrap up and put a bow on? And that'll tell me, like, how granularly we want to look at this combat. Because I'm leaning towards, like, I don't know that this wolf is that important. We don't have any vows about it. I feel like we could wrap it up in just the one roll and be true to the story we're telling. This Coyote is still pretty likely to get mega effed during this. At the same time, actually, no. You know what? I think we can wrap it up quickly anyway. Let's do this. So Coyote sees what's going on. He's going to enter the fray. This is how we initiate official combat. Our very first combat of this game. We're doing 3 sessions in a Western. We've had no combat yet, and it's not even with a person. It's with a seemingly more aggressive than usual, like, drawn by the magics. Like, we can see there's like a almost like a red haze around the eyes. Hey, Grayson. Tail out of my face. We're gonna enter the fray. So we have a foe. And I think this also is really only a troublesome foe. It's like, exactly. We pull out the guns when they really matter. Or we will. So we have big, magically influenced wolf. Oh, and if anything should be in red, it should be things that we're fighting. I may wind up making those in black, actually, but I'll do that later. Wolf is going to be troublesome.
Which will, honestly, given Coyote, probably be problematic enough. He's going to have a hard enough time facing off against anything. Alright, so we're going to enter the fray. So... we are... kind of being... we're not quite ambushed on this. The wolf is not taking its complete moment. It's a little... it's drawn in enough by the magic of the drug that I don't think it does its complete, like, it's unaware I'm gonna pounce. So I think we're just truly... we're facing off. There's a moment where, like, we're square, we're kind of circling around each other, seeing if, like, can we get out of this? Okay, and we know, no. This is gonna turn violent. But Coyote's just like, hey, buddy, it's alright, it's easy now, easy now. Trying to, like, negotiate his way back towards, like, the direction he came from. Easy, buddy. Easy now. He's gonna roll hard to try and face off and try and get that first strike in. Because I think he sees it's like... well, not literally negotiating, but I think he sees that, like, we're too far away. I gotta deal with this. So yeah, he's gonna roll hard. Try and, like, get that moment to be the, be ready for it. Alright. Squares off. We get a strong hit. It's good, because that's... we need to use his heart as much as possible. So he enters the fray with a strong hit, taking +2 momentum. I have initiative. So in this game, basically it goes back and forth. You get... there are certain types of things you can do with initiative, and certain... like, when you don't have initiative, you're more defensive, basically. But I have the initiative right now. I need to take it, because I'm not going to get that opportunity too many times. So I think Coyote takes that moment and pounces. He's got a... I think he finds, like, a rock or something as he... because he was probably still on the ground when he was backing up from this wolf, because he got unseated from a horse. And he takes that moment and he, like, gets this rock in his hand and, like, slowly stands up while still hiding the fact that he's got this rock. And then, as quick as he possibly can, he's going to try and just throw the rock at this wolf's head. As best as he can. We're going to use a strike move. And we're doing this at range. We're not just getting right into... we're trying to do this get the moment to be top dog. Ugh. Yeah, exactly. Takes the rock, throws it at range. We get to roll our plus edge. We've got momentum. Let's do this. Strong hit. Let's see if we can do it. Oh, no! Okay. Here's the thing, though. I think Coyote, if in a Coyote versus a wolf situation, the wolf is going to win. Unless Coyote uses everything that he's got available to him. And right now, the Coyote's got a 10 momentum available that can turn this into a strong hit, which he kind of needs right now. Otherwise, he's totally going to get ripped apart. He's not going to make it to Red Robert. So, we are going to burn our momentum. It's been sitting at 10 this entire session. Oop, wrong tool. Let's burn this down to our reset value of 2. Now, on a strong hit, he gets it, good solid connection right in the wolf's eye. Like, it's like it's dazed for a bit. It's really strong. On a strong hit, you inflict +1 harm and you retain initiative. So, because this is only a troublesome foe, for every harm that we deal, that is 3 boxes filled. And because we've done 2 harm, we have filled 6 of those boxes right away. It is a very solid connection. Just, bam, it took all of our momentum, but, like, there's a yelp from this wolf. It is, there's a solid crack that we hear. It probably, there's a crack in the bones. Yeah, so let's fill that in. I wish I could change the default color on this. Whoops, wrong box. Fill that in 6 times. You know what? I should make shapes next time so I can make squares. Oh yeah, no, it's a solid, like, this is a big rock that he found, and, like, he's got pretty good aim. His edges, too. And he threw it as hard as he could. He knew, like, the desperation kicked in. And, oh, I know what he should have to do next. But desperation came upon him, threw it, and when the moment was on, he got that nice little connection, beamed the wolf right in the head, and, yeah, like, the orbital around its eyes a little bit, like, it's sagging, and, like, there's a lot of blood coming out. It's gross to look at. And I retain the initiative, so I've got that one more moment, like, I could try and finish this as quickly as I can. But I know I don't have the momentum anymore. And I need that harm. I need it so badly. Because I think if I can get one more harm and fill in 9 boxes, I'm really comfortable ending the fight. Because it's a progress move. So here's what I want to do. I only had the one rock in my hand. I need to, Coyote has a bit of desperation. We already set up. He's got this PCP on him. PCP is known, it's pretty good at, making you really aggressive. And able to just, like, unleash in ways that you could not before. I think Coyote, because I love the conflict and the problems it's going to make down the line. I love giving my characters problems. Coyote is totally going to take a hit. We are going to use this as a, we're going to try and give ourselves an advantage here. Secure an advantage by, God, I don't know what I'm doing, really. I think I'm using, yeah, what am I using here? How is that securing it? So I think it's just the... Okay, no, so here's what we have to do. We secure the advantage by distracting the wolf, using the... So the wolf has got just beam in the eye. And we need to try and, like, juke a little bit to get on its bad side, to open up that moment into... Get in a spot where it can't see as well, to give enough time to drop this PCP. I think the PCP itself is going, or whatever we're going to wind up calling it, we totally need a better name for it. It's, like the, yeah, I don't want to come up with it on the fly. I'll come up with it before next time. I wanted to make sure to have it a good solid name. That'll just allow him to, we're going to treat it like an asset that's going to give him a, like, +1 on his, on melee attacks that he might want to do, or just attacks in general. So anyway, he's going to secure an advantage to find this moment. By basically, I think he's going to, he's going to faint, basically. Not like, ugh, kind of faint, but he's going to make it look like he's about to, it's a wolf. It's gonna fall for the famous, like, it looks like I'm throwing something, but I'm not. So, like, Coyote then pretends to scoop up another one and pretends to throw something, hoping, like, it'll be enough to cause the wolf to like, try and dodge out of that way, and then that'll give him an opportunity to get on in an area where he can't see as well. So he's going to use his deception, stealth, or trickery, which on a secure an advantage. Oh, he's not lying, bluffing, stealing, or cheating, so he doesn't get the trickster thing. But he does still get to use Shadow on this. Let's do it. And there we go with our strong hit on that. Very nice. So yeah, we get a strong hit on secure an advantage, which allows us to take control, make another move now, not a progress move, and add +1. Or prepare to act, take +2 momentum. I'm going to take the... I'm going to take the add a +1, make another move now and add a +1. So, Coyote has this moment. He faints, pretends to throw a rock. The wolf has that moment of self-preservation because the first one hurt so much where it flinches. giving Coyote the opportunity to kind of roll along to the side, to its bad side where the wolf can't see as well. And it's in that, during that roll, he like pulls out of his out of like a shirt pocket his little hit of this drug, and he thinks that if ever he needs it, it's now. Bites into it. This is because of the magical effects of this. I think it hits like immediately. I think there's a like as soon as he puts it on his tongue, there's like the vertigo shot where like the background just gets pulled away from Coyote and his eyes immediately get that same red haze around him, but it's even stronger. And they're like, there's just bloodshotness just goes all the way from the iris out, and like his eyes just become immediately red. They just become so capillary full that like it's like they're just completely red. There's a bit of a moment on his face where it just immediately hits, giving him, as we talked about, I think it's the effect it's going to have is like he's used his supply of it, but it's going to give him an additional +1 for like combat stuff, and we'll probably have some other effects later. So total he's got a +2 as he tries to. He's still got this initiative. Do one more thing. Take out this. He's gonna just like. Much as I'd love to just find another rock and throw it at him, it just feels more right in the fiction that like he would just jump on him and just like wail with like just gnashing and like biting and just like trying to tear this wolf apart with his bare hands and teeth and everything, which is going to be an iron move. It's a strike with iron, which he's not good at, so it's a good thing he's got that +2. We're rolling iron. He's got +2. Let's see if we can pull this off. We can! Look at that! It says strong hit already. Bam! Alright, so we get a Coyote, his face rips up from this moment where he bites it. There's a howl of pain from the wolf when he bites into the already broken section of the wolf's face where like his eye is already oozing blood. Coyote savagely just jumps on, gnashes his teeth into the side of the wolf's head, and just starts like ripping it asunder with his own teeth. Keep in mind, Coyote's missing a tooth right now from it having been pulled the night before. But he can't even focus on that right now. Pulling it apart, we very much get our strong hit. We get inflict +1 harm, which means we fill this up completely. 10 full boxes, because we inflict 2 harm. And we retain initiative. So, we're ready to do our progress-ending move, which is end the fight. We have 10 full boxes. We have just savagely, we're ripping apart this wolf. So what we do now, as probably the last roll of the evening, we're going to roll 2d10s, as usual. And we're going to compare them to how many boxes we have filled. We're not going to add any stats to it. We're not going to, momentum will not count. But we are unless we roll double 10s, we're going to get at least a weak hit on this. 8 and a 7, perfect. We get a strong hit on ending the fight. This foe is no longer in the fight. They are killed, out of action, flee, or surrender as appropriate to the situation and your intent. Coyote cannot stop. He is this enormous wolf that he savagely, like there's a shot where he's out of frame and he just pulls up and there's just wolf side of wolf face just being torn free that's stuck in his teeth as he just rips it out from it with his teeth. Blood pouring down the front of his shirt. A whine from the wolf, who's clearly like just very quickly bleeds out. Did not know he was messing with. Coyote, looking all around, does not know what to do with all of this energy. Is in a weird situation. The world probably looks different to him right now. The full effects of which we will see next time. So, I think it is fair to say, hold on, let's get rid of a couple of things. Let me get I just want to select some stuff. There we go. Screw it, I'll get rid of those boxes later. I think it's fair to say that was a fun time. I was gonna fill in some more waypoints on stuff, but I don't think it's really earned. We survived the fight, but that's what we've earned there. Let me move back into the outro kind of look here. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you've tuned in midway through and are like, that seemed kind of interesting, but I want to get the full context on it. This video, and as all of them, will be on YouTube. The previous 2 sessions are already on there. This one will be on there later tonight, if you missed kind of the beginning of it. But we had some fun times. We leave with Coyote stranded a little bit in the wilderness. He just sat. He is ripped apart a wolf with his bare teeth and nails because he's under the influence of this drug. We have no idea what that's all going to do to him next time. We're going to name it before next time. He needs to find his way back to Angel Face, who's left behind. They're complete without horses. They still got to do the plan. They got all sorts of stuff they need to take care of. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. And if you really enjoyed and are like, this seems like a really cool game, I love the way that you were able to play by yourself and just let the game kind of dictate what happened. Did you plan any of that? The answer is no. I have not thought about this game at all since last time. In fact, I was just thinking like, oh, I hope I can come up with enough stuff for the game. It's never been a problem. It just always just keeps moving forward. The wagon keeps turning. The wheel of the wagon keeps turning. It's a game called Ironsworn. If you would like a completely free copy of the game, available to anybody, this isn't a giveaway or anything, it's just giving away what is already free, I would like you to go to, I'm going to put in chat for you right now, there is a website for this, ironswornrpg.com. There it is in chat. If you really enjoyed it, I heartily encourage you to pick up a PDF, give it a read, it's a pretty quick one. It's a really cool game. Not natively Wild West themed, but it's certainly something you can port in easily enough. I've modified the game basically none. There's just certain assets that I'm not really keeping as available. They just don't make as much sense. And we're involving guns as opposed to like bows and arrows and stuff. If you really like the game, you can certainly pay for a hard copy of it, as I plan on doing. But if you're not ready to do that, but you still really like the game and want to support more things like that, Sean Tompkin is the creator of the game. He's actually followed me on Twitter because I spend enough time tweeting about his game. You can tweet him some kind words and be like, "Hey, I really enjoyed getting to see your game in action. It seems like some cool stuff." And that of course makes him feel better and it helps my stream by talking about it. So let me pull up his Twitter real quick. Get some of this cross promotion in there. What was his name on there? At Sean Tompkin. I'm going to put that in chat as well. So yes, if you really liked the stream and liked the, make sure I've got that all spelled right. Yep, that's right. Okay, so I just put in chat right there. At Sean Tompkin is his Twitter. So if you really like the stream and everything and like the game, feel free to tweet your praises to him and be like, it's a really cool game. I like it. I like what's being done with it. But otherwise, indeed, it is time to wrap things up around here. I have been talking as a GM since basically 1 p.m. I did my long Burning Wheel game earlier today, and not on stream. Someday I'll stream a Burning Wheel game. It'll be fun. But it was doing that from 1 to basically 7, so about 6 hours of that. And then less non-stop talking than this, because obviously I'm the only one who can say anything here. And then basically talked in the car on the way back to FMP, and now I'm doing this. So I'm a little bit parched. I need to rest myself if I'm going to be ready for tomorrow's Sunday stream. If you're only familiar with the RPG or gaming aspects of this stream, I started out as a music streamer. Cello player. We're going to be doing 4 hours of cello requests tomorrow, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific time, right here on this same channel. I'll be playing whatever kind of song requests you want to hear. That'll happen tomorrow. There'll be an after party. It'll be some fun times. Otherwise, I'll see you next week for more gaming. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I have, as you can note down below, recently changed from 2 to 4 p.m. I have changed that to 3 to 5 p.m. because my new job, it's a little bit later. It's just easier for me to wake up on time. So 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific time on Monday, Wednesday, Friday for gaming streams. Saturday night, 8 to 10 p.m. as you just witnessed, we do this Ironsworn. And then Sunday, 5 to 9, we do cello. Hope to see you around at some of those, but for now, I'm going to rest up. Have a good rest of your weekend, everybody. I need to get some food and water. Oh my god. Bye.